Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for April 15th. We are looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair pulled back today after moving much lower. Did close up for the session. It's currently moving sideways and the bias is sideways as well. We are looking for this pair to move potentially as high as 139 and possibly as low as 97.33. Look for some resistance around 99.73 and look for some support around 98.49 in this particular pair. Now switching over to the Euro USD pair, this pair moved lower today. It did pull back a lot from its lows, but did close down. We are moving sideways in this pair. The bias is sideways. There's no real determined direction at this point. We are expecting this pair to move potentially as high as 134.18, possibly as low as 130.31. Look for some resistance around 132.71 and look for some support around 131.45 in this particular pair. Switching to the pound US dollar pair, this pair moved higher during this session. It closed above previous resistance, which is definitely a sign that we could have this pair moving higher overall. The bias is definitely to the upside. We're looking for this pair to move possibly as high as 151.76 and looking for the lows around 146.63. Look for some resistance around 150.80 and look for support around 149.40 in this particular pair. Now switching to the US Swiss, this pair closed higher today. It's definitely moving sideways and the bias is sideways. We are expecting it to move potentially as high as 115.82 and possibly as low as 112.61. Look for some resistance around 114.86 and look for some support around 113.50 in this particular pair. Now, the U.S. had their CPI released for March today. It was worse than expected at negative 0.2% from last month's 0.2%. Now, looking ahead, the Euro has their CPI for March being released tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus is that March's CPI has stayed the same from last month at 0.6%. Year to date, they're showing a decline from 1.7% to 1.4%. Now, there's not too much going on as far as what I'm looking at during this next session. There's actually just not much going on. A lot of the pairs are, if you draw trend lines back out several time frames, you're going to see that they're in between your trend lines. If you draw those, if you trade those, you can see that we're kind of in between. We could have a breakout, but it's kind of unlikely because of where we're at least from those trend lines. Now, this pair did create a swing trade, but here again, we're pretty good ways from the market. If it does move lower, this pair does have the ability to move several hundreds of pips within a day. So if it does move lower, we're looking at 145.48 to go short and looking to exit this particular trade at 143.62. That's 186 pips of potential profit. Use a stop loss of 100 pips on this particular trade. That about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.